Chapter 103. Aftermath. Date 3/30/180, 3rd quarter. Iron Confederacy, Safe Hollow. Beastmaster Gorea dropped the lengthy goblin in the middle of the gathering. The creature was thin, almost skeletal compared to the warriors they'd fought. His skin was a different shade, more gray than green, and his eyes held an intelligence that unsettled those watching.
Who you be? You not look like chief. How come you commanding 5,000 army?
The goblin struggled against his bonds.
They elected me as their leader. We trying to form order with our resources and wheat. But you savages plundered my mine, decimated my brother's camp, and stole my precious metals ingredients.
He pointed with his chin at Demir's orichalcum blade, eyes filling with rage and loss. Demir stepped forward, wolf's vow gleaming in the firelight.
So you are the one behind all this, trying to form a new country in secret from your high chief.
If not me, someone else will form new order with what we have. Just wait and see. We're not monsters forever.
Demir raised wolf's vow, the blade catching moonlight.
No need to talk further with a monster thinking himself revolutionary.
With that, he swung. The blade cut clean through, and the goblin's head rolled across scorched earth, his expression frozen between defiance and resignation. Remaining people started gathering their wounded and dead. The town square had become a battlefield, and now it transformed into something worse. A mortuary. Digging each grave took all day and night. The earth was hard, stubborn, unwilling to accept so many dead at once. Demir and the few who could still stand helped along with Gorea Naira and her bone dragon. The massive undead creature used its claws to break through tough ground, making the work faster but no less heartbreaking. Aleph and Lysara helped survivors, handing out potions and bandaging wounds that covered nearly every person who remained. The graves formed rows. Almost 50 people had died defending their home. Mathis, who'd stood guard at the northern wall until the very end. Uzan, whose laughter had filled the tavern just days before. Huntress Ilandra, who taught so many youngsters to track and shoot. And many others whose names Demir had only just learned, whose stories would never be told. Each grave was marked with simple wooden crosses. Some survivors carved names, others left them blank, unable to write through their grief. Children who'd lost parents stood silent, their tears dried up from crying too much. Parents who'd lost children dug with mechanical precision, focusing on the physical work to avoid thinking about the impossible loss. Demir worked until his hands bled, until his muscles screamed. He dug graves for people he'd known for only weeks, but who had become family. When they lowered Ilandra into her grave wrapped in her hunting cloak, he had to turn away. She'd been so alive, so full of strength and purpose. Sin helped dig, but nothing came from his lips. His face was a mask empty of everything except the mechanical need to keep moving. He dug Timmy's grave himself, refusing all help, refusing to stop even when his hands left bloody prints on the shovel handle. By the time they finished, dawn was breaking again. A full day and night of burying the dead. 63 defenders had fought the final wave. 50 had died. Only 13 remained standing. Demir walked up to Naira, who was making soup for the whole town in a massive cauldron salvaged from the ruins. The smell of vegetables and meat filled the air, incongruous against the backdrop of destruction.
Good catch with the field beast, boss.
What?
The giant wolf. It's yours, right?
She gestured toward where Asina lay, resting, still wounded but alive.
You mean Asina? Kind of. Not mine, but she likes me, I think.
After Gorea's beast died, he looked for a suitable bear everywhere. That wolf would be an incredible companion if you can properly bond.
I mean, I understand the bear, but how did you tame a bone dragon?
Demir looked at the massive undead creature resting near the town's edge.
It is not really a dragon or beast. All undead are technically robots disguised with fantasy cloaks. If you have this, they obey you. Simple as that.
She showed a bone-shaped stone that pulsed with dark energy. Healing started faster than Demir could anticipate, though the wounds ran deeper than flesh. Marco still sat alone in the corner, afraid and ashamed of his miscast that had killed 3 defenders. Sin sat on top of a toppled wooden wall, staring at nothing, seeing everything. Everyone else gathered around the flame, eating soup and talking about future plans in hushed, uncertain voices. Roderick took the stand near the fire. He was barely able to remain upright, having lost an eye in the fighting. After his clash against the elites, Demir had thought him dead. His foot was severely damaged, wrapped in bandages that were already seeping blood, and the wound from the magical explosion was still visible, angry and red across his chest.
First of all, thanks again. Without you, we would all be dead. I'm glad that this prison of a game didn't take away our humanity.
Humanity.
But he didn't continue. Obviously, as a high leveler, he'd seen more action and death than anyone here could imagine.
As of today, I am dissolving our town. I am no longer fit to be your leader, obviously, and if anyone is hesitant about going with them to their city, speak now, because there is no living space for us here as low levelers. We have to take refuge or be killed and enslaved by whoever comes next.
No one spoke against going. The people were beaten up physically and emotionally. Hope had died with the 50 buried in fresh graves.
Hi, everyone. I am Naira. Our city on foot takes 15 to 16 days, so we should rest a couple of days here before we start. Me and Garea will be helping you. Olive and Lasara are actually on another quest. They were going to drop us and be on their way, but they'll probably stay another day.
What? You are splitting? Why?
We were going to the kingdom of Satar's capital, Parthenon.
What? Why? Isn't that a local country?
Yeah, it's mostly an NPC city, but since it's considered the capital of one of the largest kingdoms, many players live there. The Emperor is okay with them living there as long as they obey the law. It's neutral ground in a way.
Why go there?
We heard new items appeared at the market and there is a tournament going to happen in a month. We want to check out the prizes and maybe buy from the winners. High-level gear sometimes shows up at these events.
Demir started thinking. Going with the town folk to a high-player city meant going away from Aris. It was on the opposite side of the planet from where the Chalice territories were, but staying here offered nothing. And in a capital city in a tournament, maybe he could gain strength, find information, or even encounter someone who knew where Aris had gone.
Can I come?
With us?
Yeah. Maybe I could join the tournament.
You can come, but don't join the tournament. There is too much death risk. Before it was okay, but now, if you die...
Wait, they started a below level 50 tournament. He can attend there. What is your level?
He is clearly above level 50. Look at that sword and shield. That's endgame equipment.
No, I am level 12.
What?
What? How?
What's going on here?
He is saying he is level 12.
I mean, Lex said there was a young man with strange title ideas. I assumed it was Demir. But level 12 as tough as you fought? Bravo. That's impressive work.
I ground hard to make these items. And apparently player-made items have more stat points than found gear. Those kept me standing through everything.
You made the Orichalcum blade. Get out. That's master level crafting.
What is your theory on these titles? Lex mentioned you had ideas about the system changes.
Demir and the rescuer group started talking about his proven theory about how everyone in town had started getting interference. Bzzz, notifications after grinding specific skills. Garea joined the conversation, his massive form settling near the fire.
It took me nearly 10 years to reach Beastmaster level 80. How did you get a title to tame a field beast boss?
First of all, I didn't tame her yet. She just tolerates me.
We are working hard, grinding constantly. I didn't get any interference notifications.
Imagine it like this. You made your leveling brick by brick, building it up over years. But the new system, I think it's the locals' way of living. Getting titles is not like laying bricks. It's like carving out a house from stone. If you didn't actually carve the house, you have nothing to show for it. And since you're level 80, your skills are already a giant building. Grinding skills you already have won't be as visible at that high level.
So if I were to grind cooking, I'd get interference notifications because I haven't developed it yet. But for necrotic spells that I've mastered, I'd have to get almost to the last title to trigger a BZ.
Exactly so.
But that puts low-level grinders at an advantage.
No, it doesn't. Marvin and Huntress Alondra use bows almost every day, but they weren't level 80 archer level. After certain titles, your grinding isn't helping. You have to do something more, something different, I think.
I heard from a distance you don't want to leave with the group.
Yeah, sorry, Marco. I'm leaving with them to Parthenon. If I'm in the biggest city, I'm sure I have more chance to run into Aris or find information about him.
It is okay. I want to come with you too. After what I did, I can't go with them. I can't face them every day.
Marco?
Please. I cannot face them, not yet.
Demir looked at Aleph and Lysara questioningly.
The more, the merrier, I suppose. But you need to understand something. What happened in battle, those misfires they happen. You're not the first mage to hit friendlies, and you won't be the last.
That doesn't make it better.
No, it doesn't, but it's truth.
The fire crackled between them. Around the flames, survivors talked quietly, making plans, saying goodbyes that would come in a day or two. Somewhere in the ruins, Sin still sat alone with his grief. And in the rows of fresh graves, 50 souls rested. Their stories ended in defense of a home that no longer existed. Safe Hollow had fallen. But its people would survive. Chapter 1004, The Covenant of the Unreal. Date 3480. Second quarter. Unknown subterranean complex. The chamber was held together by rusted iron ribs and decaying stone, a cathedral buried beneath the world. The air tasted of oil and ozone, metallic and sharp on the tongue. Ancient torches hissed in brackets, their blue fire burning on fumes that smelled faintly of copper. Every sound echoed twice, once in metal, once in memory. The engineer stood by the dais, disguised as a withered jester. His bells were rusted lumps that made no sound. His porcelain mask split down the cheek, revealing nothing beneath but shadow. He bowed low and poured molten light into cups shaped like skulls, each radiating a faint hum as liquid luminance cooled to mercury. No one laughed. The Covenant of the Unreal did not find humor in ceremony, not in a traditional way. 8 thrones of mismatched design ringed the table, each carved from the essence of its race. Rusted steel, crystal, glass, ash, and bone. Their glow reflected on the mirrored floor, rippling with static distortions that chased one another like trapped ghosts. Lord Vex Bone, prime of the Frameborn, sat motionless. His skeletal jaw twitched with servo-strain joints clicking softly with each micro-adjustment. Beside him hovered the ghost matriarch Eliona, a figure of translucent outline blurred at the edges. She flickered occasionally as if struggling to maintain coherence. The Carrion King, stitched from the remnants of 100 dead machines, cracked faintly whenever he tried to smile. The sound was like breaking twigs. At the far end of the table, flesh and bone alone marked the High Priestess Ialoria, the only one here still human. Her presence felt wrong among the artificial beings, like a living thing in a museum of taxidermy. They had gathered to speak of the flesh-born covenant. The fool Ugnap poured another cup, watching the molten silver steam rise in coils. His skin rippled, revealing beneath it glimpses of his true form. The movement was small, barely noticeable. But Aeloria's sharp eyes caught it.
That will be enough. Leave now.
He bowed low, bells silent. The first day after the Prime Engineer vanished, she had begun purging engineers whose loyalty leaned toward logic rather than worship. Ugnap had been among the first to go. Once a systems architect, he had rewritten weapon protocols for an empire. Now he fetched drinks for decaying gods. Survival required obedience, not pride. So he lied, snuck, and shifted. He became the servant of the strong, the fool entertaining a skeletal king.
Stay. He makes me laugh.
Ugnap hesitated at the threshold, then deliberately stumbled. He let himself slip and crash face first onto the metal tiles. The clang rang out like a cracked bell reverberating off the curved walls. The chamber erupted, not in outrage, but in a burst of harsh synthetic laughter. The sound was wrong, mechanical, mismatched in rhythm, like a chorus of engines misfiring. Either their humor routines are broken, Ugnap thought, or the coder who wrote them had the worst taste imaginable. Still, laughter meant safety. He remained. He dusted his knees and sat cross-legged in a shadowed corner, eyes flicking from one throne to another.
You trust too easily, Lord Vex. He is not even a construct like you.
Constructs cannot create amusement. They lack flavor.
The ghost matriarch Eliona drifted forward, the air shimmering with her heat.
Then let us return to the matter at hand. We have all heard the news. Your flesh-born covenant was attacked under your hosting. Is it your doing?
No, some rogue player.
Hi. Then their covenant cracks. Oh, how it burns, it burns. We must seize the moment before the light fades.
And throw away years of planning? We are close to taking it all. Why settle for scraps? We are immortal. Unlike them, we can wait.
A soft wind moved through the chamber, though no door had opened. Asa, mistress of the wind elementals, coalesced into form, a silhouette made of ash and glimmering dust. Murmurs rolled like distant thunder. Servos whined, optics dimmed, programs re-evaluated.
That will not happen. The Covenant suspects nothing of your cooperation. To them you are scattered relics, broken toys. Their concern is the players. They fortify borders and guard their strategic points. As long as I speak for them, none will suspect.
Players wiped out the Lumisphere race. We cannot breed replacements. Every loss is forever. We must act.
Silence swallowed the chamber. Even Eliona dimmed her light. Lord Vex rose slowly, joints clicking in sequence. His hollow sockets flared with inner flame.
My esteemed guests, you worry too much. Our plans bear fruit. Patience is power. In 20 or 30 years, the player race will vanish on its own. They are mortal, tired, and scattered. When they make their final move, we will take the world from whatever victor crawls from the ashes.
How? Whelp!
Eloria stepped forward, light gleaming along her ceremonial armor.
I bring news from the surface. The Emperor has agreed to take me as his successor's bride. Soon I will stand beside the throne of the strongest military in existence. When the final war begins, I will ensure no soldier lifts a blade for either side.
Gasps. Mechanical, elemental, or breathless moved through the council.
In the Chalice Order we raise the most devout, the most capable. I have been placing my finest within every kingdom's courts, advisors, clerics, healers. When the time comes...
Her pause stretched deliberate.
We will rule the world. Just wait a little more.
He lifted his cup of light, the molten surface reflecting fractured halos across the chamber. The others followed. Even those without flesh raised symbolic hands or tendrils of plasma in unison. Cups clinked metal on crystal on bone. For one impossible instant, 8 different realities harmonized. Ognap watched from the corner, unseen again. The laughter was gone now. Only the low hum of machinery filled the void. He wondered how many of them remembered being built like him, and how many had convinced themselves they were born. When Eloria's eyes flicked toward him, he looked down, pretending to wipe a spill. Her smile did not reach her eyes. The meeting dragged on. Formalities, knowledge exchanges, promises etched into sigils. Ungnap recorded everything within his memory. His body was a vessel of secrets. His curse was to remember every treachery against the living people of Aethyros. Outside, the torches hissed lower. Rust crept a little higher on the walls. And in the shadows the fool smiled, his porcelain smile, knowing that patience was not the only virtue that mattered. Sometimes memory was enough.